Hope you're in the bed because we're staring at.
Okay, let's talk about the fact. Let's talk about the fact. Let's start with this. Let's start with Mitchell. Did you beat Sonic Forces? I'm about to check. I'm going on your Steam profile right now.
I did. I actually did.
Hold on.
No, I beat it. Because don't you remember we had a whole fucking deal of Sonic Generations? I beat it. I beat Sonic Generations. That was the deal that Brian would get it for me. I played it day one with everybody else, and I beat it.
Okay, yeah, he did. I see Adventure. Okay, why did you play Sonic? Is it weird to play Sonic Generations when you don't play Sonic, and yet you played literally a celebration of Sonic?
Everybody fucking watched me play it. Everybody watched me play it.
I think we can confirm that Mitchell has beaten Forces when it took him 8.5 hours to do it. Mitchell, it's a 4-hour game.
Yeah, and I'm shit at Sonic games. I beat it.
What took you double the time to do it?
We all did.
I beat it.
What took you double the time?
I don't know. I was fucking shit. I'm shit at Sonic games. What do you say?
A little bit. I'm gonna check your achievements just to make sure, right? Clear stage 1, right? Defeated Infinite. Yeah. Okay. I think you did beat it. I don't know.
Yeah, I did beat it. I'm not lying. Why the fuck would I lie about that?
Did you beat this?
I do not care about getting Sonic Forces credit.
I don't know why I would be the one getting on him if he didn't beat it, because I spent $40 to buy it.
Hold on. So I have a question, Mitchell. In your achievements, almost everything is November 2017, except one. There is one achievement that was unlocked February 24th, 2019. Why did you play the game 2 years later?
They probably made him play it.
Yeah, because fucking, like, it was the meme. It was Jay. It was like the meme that was gassing up Sonic Forces. And then I went back into it. That's probably why there's extra hours added onto it, because I was fucking trying to meme with Jay.
All right, I guess Mitchell has beaten Forces. I still think it's weird that you played Generations, but you havened. Have you played the classic Sonic games yet? No, that's what I thought.
No. Let's
actually. I actually have played through a good chunk of. Well, not really like actual Sonic.
You've played Adventure 2, Generations, and Forces.
I played some Mania.
I'm about to rustle some feathers with this one, but Adventure 1 and 2 were the true classic games. You know what I mean?
They are considered classics now, which is fucking terrible. I hate it.
I got some hours in Mania. Okay. All right. I wasn't very good at it.
I want Mitchell to fully beat Shadow the Hedgehog, his childhood game.
No.
I still technically haven't done that.
I have.
I borrowed it from Blockbuster when I was a kid, and I played through some of the levels.
I did too.
It was just shit. I didn't want to finish it. Welcome back to Staring at the Ceiling, by the way. We're just
kind of getting into this.
I'm not a fake fan. Okay, no. Listen here, bitch. I have beaten every other Sonic game.
We need to reset.
No. Hold on. I'm gonna finish this right here. I have beaten every other Sonic game mainline except for Shadow. Get off my ass. I've also 100%ed almost all of them. Have you? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm mad at this one.
Yeah, you 100%. You 100% the classic games.
Technically, yes, I have.
Oh yeah, did you beat Sonic 3K?
No, I actually have.
Yeah, fake fan. Fake fan.
Okay, well, that was a very nice cold open, but
yeah. So we have quite a bit has happened in the past week since the last recording.
Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, at least I should say that, so it sounds like we have a lot to talk about.
Oh, we just don't fucking do anything.
That's a fucking lie. For me, at least.
Yeah.
We could talk about the fact that the terrible driving system of America and how I almost died.
Yes.
How I almost died the other day. Because so right now Jay and I are the ones who drive here. Brian and Mitchell really don't drive. But
I am driving right now.
Oh, I'm proud of you. Look at that. So people drive terribly, right? This is a great topic to start. So I was driving home today. And there's this part on the road where there's 2 lanes and it converts into one, right? And so you have the assholes who are like, I'm going to go into the right lane and just zoom by to pass everybody. And we have this one guy, right? He's like in this big white old looking car and he's trying to get past me. And then there's this big black truck behind me. So he's not able to get past the truck, but he's trying to get past me. So we get into the single lane and you just see this truck and this white car right next to each other. I mean, both these guys are not giving up. And I was like, I'm going to start speeding more Because if they crash into each other, I don't want to be a part of that. I'm not gonna fucking die today. And it just made me think of how, like, I swear to God, the majority of people in America don't know how to drive cars. It's kind of incredible. How do they have licenses?
It's fucking true. It's fucking true. Every single day, there's always a fucking wreck or something stupid going on the road. And people, like, especially on like the tolls and highways, like they don't even want to. They want to get over. They don't want to put on their turn signal. And usually, I let people over if they put on their turn signal because, like, I can see, hey, you're trying to get over. But people don't do that. And I see people try to like slide into these tight ass spaces between me and another car. It's like, dude, you're not making it in here. They try to force their way in there, like, and they're not even. It's not even an X or anything. They're just trying to force their way in there because they want to go faster. They're swerving and shit, and I just get so mad at that, bro. I start being like more aggressive. I've adapted to it. I have to drive like an hour to work every day, an hour back, at home, and the traffic is bad. It's the people are so annoying, and every day I wish it was GTA where I can get out of my car, rocket launcher, blow everybody up to another car and go driving, and then use the wanted cheat to lose my wanted level so I don't get caught by the cops.
Nah, like
in GTA.
My biggest thing with driving, my biggest thing with driving isn't even like the really terrible stuff because I don't encounter that much. It's the little things, like when people don't use their turn signal, or like when they're petty and you're on like a single road and they pass by you and go on the wrong side because they just can't wait to get to a point where they can just pass you normally. That kind of shit, that's what gets me on the road. I hate people like that.
When people get in front of you in the fast lane and they don't go fast.
Well, no, what was crazy was this guy in the white car, he was trying so hard to get around me in this truck. And then once he gave up and like got behind the guy in the truck because neither of them were giving up, 5 seconds later he pulls into a neighborhood. This bitch didn't even need to be anywhere. He was right at his destination and he still tried to kill somebody today. That makes no sense, bro.
If people are petty, I just say every time I want to do something, I just say, I imagine I'm telling the person in front of them, like, you're lucky this is not GTA. Because if it was GTA, you'd be dead.
Jay, you and GTA, swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I wish that I could get out. I'm gonna sound like a fucking psychopath in this fucking podcast.
You are a psychopath.
Right, I'm not a psychopath. All right, you guys know I'm not a psychopath. Look,
I don't know.
GTA is a very
a true psychopath says he isn't a psychopath. Like Bundy didn't call himself a sociopath.
Listen. All right, GTA is a very therapeutic game for that reason alone. Because I just imagine I let it all out. All right, I don't need a therapist. I'm not crazy. I'm not going to shoot up a school or do anything stupid like that.
Famous last words.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Jay's
last words. I heard y'all registered that shit. Jay's
the type of guy that I imagine I'm just like sitting in my room relaxing. He just comes in with a hammer, and he may like be holding it because he's doing like some kind of like fix up or something in the other room. But I'm gonna look at that and be like, please don't kill me right now, Jay. Just like not right now, man. Like that's what I expect.
The American Psycho scene.
That's what I expect.
Well, I think you do American History X, so you need to chill out.
Yeah, I mean, he could be talking about the.
All right, moving on. He could be. He could be.
There's actually quite a few scenes in American Psycho, like the one where he's trying to kill the one woman he's having sex with, and he's chasing her with a chainsaw, and then she's running down the stairs, and he mathematically fucking waits. And he mathematically calculates for the chainsaw to drop exactly on her head at the right time.
He just walks up to that old lady at the counter and just blows her away. They want to.
See, I haven't seen American Psycho, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Have you seen some of the book scenes before?
I've seen one scene of American Psycho, and it's the one where he's in an apartment. I don't remember. It's like a dude sitting on the couch. Yeah, the famous one. That's what I've seen.
That's
Jared Leto.
Yeah, it's Jared Leto.
No.
There's I saw a Twitter thing where someone drew fan art of the book for some reason. And there's apparently a scene where he's on a date with a woman he's about to kill, and at the dinner he shows her pictures of all the mutilated corpses he's done and shit, and brags about it. I didn't know the book went so hard like that, but
I forgot it was based off a book. I'm gonna be honest.
This is a very violent episode.
I just want to say just to show that we're not crazy when it comes to this car stuff. Just think, I just put this out there.
You are,
You
don't
know,
worry.
I'm not crazy. I promise I'm not crazy. But like there are shows and games like Twisted Metal that were thought of because people were in traffic. The creators were in traffic, and they just got so mad at the world because they were in traffic and people are
I
stupid
don't think
and
that's
they're in the
accurate
way.
on how they were created. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah,
with
no,
That
you.
no,
is
no,
actually
that is
how
accurate.
it's
Oh, is
The
it?
idea
Well, you know
was like,
what?
yeah, because they're like,
Justified.
what if I could just blow up the car in front of me? And they're like,
Justified.
okay, we can make an ID.
You know, to reel it back, Sonic Adventure 2 was also thought of like that because they got really mad at traffic in San Francisco, and they was like, what if a big truck just came and started flooding you?
Justified, honestly.
Road rage is a real thing.
Yeah.
You gotta control it. You gotta control it, and then go home and play GTA and kill everybody there.
Yeah.
And then you
I
don't
think
kill
most
anybody in
people
real
would
life.
do that.
Speaking
I
of
think most
which,
people would do that.
I finished my collection of mainline trilogy of GTA the other day.
Oh, you've been doing that, so you have all of them now?
Yeah, it's the easiest thing, like easiest collection to get on the PS2, honestly. But like
Oh,
at
you
least
just
I
have
have
you have
all.
the
It's still
PTS2
cool.
games. I thought you had like all of them. I was like, oh, Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 as well? Like what?
I do. I think I do own all the games in some capacity because GTA 1 and 2 were free on GOG at a point. So.
I
Man.
had San Andreas, and my mom took it away from me, and then I had San Andreas again, and then my mom took it away from me again.
I think
I
I still
have.
Then
I
you
think I
got the
still have
PC one and got filtered by the dancing with the
I
PC
think I still
Yeah,
controller.
have
the dancing
Vice
fucking mini
City.
game where they don't have the fucking actual controls on the fucking screen, so you're just fucked. I like it. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
no,
I have the PSP. Oh, go ahead, Noah.
yeah, I was gonna say I think I have Vice City and maybe San Andreas I have, but I don't have 3. Definitely not.
San Andreas, what the fuck?
I had something in my throat.
I bet you did.
Moving on.
But they have. I had the PSP
Yeah.
ones and the PS2 ones, but the problem is my PSP ones. Actually, I got like Liberty City Stories first. My dad, because my dad was like really cool with those games. He was just like, just don't do the stuff in the game. You're good. My mom wasn't, but when she saw I had that game, because I got it for my birthday, she just said like, said, "Damn it!" And then she walked out the room. She didn't care. But then my aunt saw I had it, and she took it away for like a day. And then she was like, "Does your mom know you have this game?" Like, yeah, she does. She doesn't care. And she had to come in there and get the game. But now both of those copies my dad got me, they're both like they're messed up for some reason. Like I played them, and if you go really fast or go just a bit fast in the car, the world deloads. Like and like those what they call those things in animation, like the frames are like lagging behind, and you see like it's like multiple copies of like whatever's being animated, and you see that happens like
Right,
for a
you're the
second until
guy
the
that
world loads
makes
back in.
games. You would know better than us.
I don't know. Look, I don't know the name. I know that happens. Like there's certain areas in games you can do that, and that stuff can happen, and it's like really scary to look at. But I don't know the exact name for that for when that happens. I don't know the exact
Yeah. But
terminology.
that did remind me though. Can we talk about how weird our parents' generation was? I don't know about you guys, but my parents were really weird about what I could and could not play. So like stuff like Call of Duty, Halo, pretty good. Like they didn't care. In fact, they
Yeah.
actually got me Halos and Call of Duties. GTA was on and off. They didn't like take it away, but they were kind of like, I don't like you playing that, but I'm not gonna like, as long as I don't see titties on the screen, we're fine. But then it was like I couldn't watch South Park. Like what? It made. No, I feel like. Don't quote me on this. I feel like GTA is worse than South Park. I'm just saying South Park's pretty bad. But
And my family did not give a fuck because my mom was also really young when she had me, so she did not care. I grew up on shit like Jackass and Beavis and Butthead, so I mean, like,
I'm gonna go out on a limb
also
here.
grew up on slashers a lot. So.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that my parents are probably a different generation than your guys. I think that may be.
oh yeah,
case.
mine's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not super young,
My
but they're a
mom
pretty
is
young
a different
generation.
one than fucking Noah and Jay's. So.
Well, hold on,
your
how old
mom-
is how old is your mom?
My mom? Right
Yeah.
now? 38.
Oh shit, she's younger. Or yeah, she's younger than mine.
Your mom was like 5 years off.
Damn, Brian.
Yeah.
Five
My
older than
sister
mom.
and my mom are the same age, so.
That's crazy.
Now, how old is your mom?
Mine's like early 40s. But like when I was in like
Mine's 60.
when I was in like middle school and high school,
Jesus.
mine was in like her 30s, and everybody else was like, yeah, my parents are in their 40s and 50s. So I thought mine was young, but damn, Brian.
Yeah, my dad would have just turned 40 this March. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
my parents were young.
My mom is in her mid-40s.
Okay, so
Yeah, my parents are just entered their 60s. So.
yeah, so you have the older parents. Okay.
Yes.
But I agree. Like our parents' generation. I think I've been like looking at videos because I'm working on that GTA 3 video of like how the media treated those games back then, and like every kid wanted like a mature game. So that's why we got like stuff like Shadow the Hedgehog and like Jack 2 because it was like the kid version of it where kids could do that stuff, but kids still wanted to play GTA and stuff like that. But like they parents just like it just shows how much parents didn't actually pay attention to like the game and they just relied on the news like to say what
Yeah.
was in it because the people were just lying. And to this day there have been some weird parents that I've come across where they will like do this and watch this, but they'll be like, "Oh, Pokemon's the devil," or "Yu-Gi-Oh's is devilish," and my son can only play Legend of Zelda and Minecraft, and that's it.
Okay.
Minecraft.
My parents never went that far. I mean, I didn't get into like mainline Pokemon until the DS, but I mean, I played like XD Shadow or Darkness or whatever the hell it's called, and stuff like that. Gala Darkness was
Yeah.
called.
I think my parents were just so technologically illiterate that they couldn't really keep me from it.
It's crazy
The only
though.
reason San Andreas I got caught. The only reason I got caught with San Andreas is because like the PlayStation 2 was in their room, and
Oh,
I
that's
was fucking,
bad.
I was fucking,
Yeah.
and my dad, I would just be like as a kid like sitting there playing San Andreas, and my dad would just be like laying down watching me play it, and I'd just be running around killing people. And that's what it would be for the
Yeah.
entire time. I didn't even realize there was a story until
Oh,
I
Yeah,
got it for the
mine were
second
never
time.
like that. They would see me play Call of Duty and they'd be like, "Yeah, that's fine." Especially when I played zombies and they're like, "Yeah, he's just killing zombies. It's fine." I just didn't
My
understand
mom
some of the
bought me
things.
fucking Manhunt, so I don't think she
What
cares.
the fuck?
You got fucked up.
You reacted to that like you didn't know that already.
I
You got fucked. Yeah, I
forgot.
was gonna react like what the fuck because
Yeah.
it was like
My
that. See, that was actually bad.
I
That was
just
like super bad
I
for a
find
kid.
it crazy because there's a giant label on the front and back of these things that tells you, "Hey, maybe your kid shouldn't play
Do you know how
this."
many
And they
parents?
didn't
You know how many parents
care.
don't
she
care? You know how many
doesn't care.
parents? You know how many parents like would care about that, but don't actually pay attention to what they buy?
They just
Like
wouldn't.
that's why
No.
they end up getting these things because they'll
Whatever,
ask
like
their parent to get
fucking
it, and
like
they'll be like, "Oh my god, yeah, it's
movies
just for
and
me."
stuff.
Yes, you should have read the
Yeah,
label.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
exactly.
fucking and it's just San Andreas that was taken away too. I still had like Max Payne, though. Like
Oh
I
my
didn't play that
god.
Yeah.
much. I didn't play that much
Max Payne
because
is different.
I got stuck in the fucking like subway and couldn't figure out where the fuck to go for fucking like 10 years
In
until
the
I played it
beginning of
again.
the game.
Yes, at the beginning of the
Oh
game.
my god.
So I was
Yeah.
just forced. So as a dumbass little fucking like 5-inch child, I just fucking resorted to playing fucking Shadow the Hedgehog, and playing the first level and blowing people away that way.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be.
When
I
you
don't know how
replayed
parents.
when you replayed Max Payne, which dream sequence did you get stuck at? Was it the last one?
The last one, yes.
That one sucks on PS2. That one's fucking terrible. The frame
Yeah,
drops and
yeah,
shit.
no, I had to quit there. I had no patience for it at that point.
Oh, but I looked up a YouTube walkthrough. I don't blame you. It fucking sucks.
It just made me so mad. I just stopped playing. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it.
The end of that game is really fucking good for some like, especially on the PS2 one where you can't quick save. It's fucking
Yeah.
Wait, it's like specifically a version you can't quick save in?
yes. On the console ports, I'm not sure about Xbox, but on PS2 you cannot quick save. It auto saves at certain levels.
That's
So
so
you
lame.
you get really fucked over. Like you get really
That's
Yeah.
lame.
because it's a game where it requires you it like they have long levels, but it's the way it's designed is based on these like quick sequences and shit. So like in reality you want to save before the sequences, right? Because that's how it's designed on the PC port and everything.
Mhm.
The PC port's the original, by the way. The console ports didn't come out till like But yeah, on the PS2 port, it starts you at the beginning of the level and shit, and some of them at the end could be really fucking long. So it's like terrible.
That's so lame. What a
Yeah.
bad decision. But
I should
no,
finish my game.
it got me thinking because I was like, I find it weird that my parents didn't give a shit about stuff like GTA or even Saints Row. Saints Row almost was a problem because Saints Row made me start cussing because they would cuss so much there that I kind of copied them, and my brothers had to go, "Yo, calm down," because they might take that away if they didn't realize you're cussing because of it. But it's just they didn't care about that stuff. But then like when I got an Xbox 360 for the first time, this is like maybe a month later. I had a few friends on it, and my dad was like, "Do you know these people?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And then they took my Xbox away. Because I fucking had
What?
friends that I didn't know online, but like I played games with them because they had the games that I had at the time.
I
But
lied.
that was
I had the same
awful.
issue. I lied. I never had to take it away because I always lie. Because my mom would be like, "Who you're talking to?" And like my friends from school, and I
Yeah,
would
they never
lie.
believe that shit. Yeah, they
Yeah,
never believe
mine
from.
never believed that shit. I would say yes, and they're like, "Yeah, you're joking," and they would take it away. I was like, "Dude."
I don't know. I mean, I
Yeah, a
get
lot of
it.
parents. A lot of
I
parents.
get it. That is kind of good parenting to do to monitor your kids online because there be some really creeps and kids be putting their credit card info
Oh yeah.
in and stuff like that. But like I'm gonna be 100. You need to also understand the concept of like, hey, people. There's probably other kids online that play the same game, and if they're gonna talk to people online regardless. I mean, you just need to monitor it and know who
Yeah.
they're talking to.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, the
if
first thing
you're, what are you saying?
I would say the first thing, because me and my cousin, we it took us a while to get online until like about like 2010 on his PS3, and we played Red Dead. We played COD. We didn't talk to nobody there, but we played Red Dead. Uh, and the first thing that happened, we went to a match. My aunt walked in the room and this happened. We went to like some match for Red Dead, and it was some like grown ass man just on like breathing heavily into the mic, and he was like, "Ooh, you make my pussy wet." Like that's exactly what he said.
Oh, okay.
And like 10 years old, listen.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a child talking to a dude with like a really deep voice, that's an issue. But like,
We thought it was funny. My aunt didn't.
that's fucking hilarious.
My aunt was like, my aunt Lily said she was like, "What the fuck did he just say?" And we just start laughing
But
because every time someone would cuss around, we just start laughing at it.
yeah, but hey, I mean, Xbox Online was how basically all of us met except for Mitchell, who knew Brian, because you know, y'all actually know each
Yeah.
other. But everybody
Yeah.
else we met on Sonic Transformed.
Well,
Well, except you. So
I
what
met
was
you
it?
through a roundabout way.
Yeah, so
Where,
it was. So there were like a couple people that no longer exist. That like we played Transform with them. That's it. But it was like me, Jay, Race, who has been on the podcast before, and Caden, who I think has been on a podcast
Yeah.
that's uploaded.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's in a
Uh,
few of them.
yeah, so we all met through Transformed, and then I think it was Race who knew you, and we met through.
Race and Caden did. I
Yeah,
knew Caden more than I did knew Race for
yeah,
a
so
bit.
we met through Skype on that, and then you knew Mitchell,
Yeah.
so we met Mitchell through
Yeah.
that. So, it's sometimes it's a good thing because then you end up making podcasts where people talk about being fucking psychopaths.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
hey,
Yeah, sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. And you get
you
abducted.
you get bad
Yeah.
people, or it doesn't work out the
Especially
second
these
way.
days on Discord, you get the famous Discord mods.
Yeah, the
Oh
Discord
no.
moderator.
Oh my god.
And sometimes you get the second option where it doesn't work out because the person is like, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow," and they're gone forever. We had
Honestly,
that person.
sometimes
Last
that's pretty.
online 1,000 years ago.
Sometimes that's pretty
Yeah.
cool though, like when you don't talk to people that much, because like I'm in a couple servers, like the Pokemon Unite server, a couple fighting game ones, where I'll like talk to people and we'll talk about the game a few times, and I'll talk like every like few weeks with them. That's pretty cool too, because like I don't know the people, but like talking to them about common things is
Yeah.
always pretty fun.
When they go away for good, especially when you had a good conversation, when you play with them a lot. You remember Speed Sonic on
Yeah, there was that
Transform?
guy we
That was
played Transform with. He was really cool, and he just
yeah,
like
he was like the
dipped.
best at it that we played. He was like telling us how like constantly boosted us was making him like win all the time. And then he literally said, "I'll see you guys tomorrow."
Dipped. Never
And he
saw him
never
again.
came back.
It was
He never came
fucking
back.
wild.
And we'll know what happened to him. And it's like, damn. And now I see like memes of that now on Twitter. Like There's these old Xbox Live memes of just like random stuff, and that was one of the memes like a guy saying like "see you tomorrow," and then never coming back, like gone for 8 years. Like damn, that happened. That happened to multiple people.
I don't know. Maybe his Xbox like caught on fire. It's like shit. Well, guess I'm out of
I feel
luck.
like sometimes, like sometimes it's just like I wonder, like in a situation like that, if they literally just like randomly died or something, because that's like
That's so bad.
sometimes
No.
Yeah.
it's a dark thought, but like sometimes the situations are so bizarre where there's no explanation other than like they had to have just like died or something. Like,
Or how about those people who just get locked out of their accounts and they have a new account and they're like, shit, I don't remember any of the people I played with their names. Because
I
I
have a theory
swear,
what happened.
I have a few friends, or I had a few friends on Xbox who had like 3 accounts. So you can have like up to 100 friends on your friends list, and I have like double digits taken up by like the same 4 people because they just have 3 different accounts.
I got more.
I don't like, especially because you had to pay for Xbox Gold. Why are you making so many accounts to pay for that shit?
They probably got banned on certain games because trash talk was really
Look,
prominent.
say what you want. Call of Duty in the Xbox 360 era was peak with like Black Ops and Black Ops 2. That was peak.
I just thought it was funny because people. I mean, it'd be a bunch of like racists and little kids saying like all this crap, and I was like I was like 12 or 13, and like it was so funny because me and my friend we just troll them. Like I never like some people got like really upset about that. I understand for like girls because like some people it's just a bunch of weirdos for them, but like for like us, I just like I mean if they would say something to me, I would just troll them and like piss, and they get so angry because they want to win the game.
Yo,
Uh,
when there was like a girl in the lobby and you just have that one guy go, "It's a girl," and he just starts breathing heavy into the mic.
there's two people. There's two people.
The
You get the
funniest
one,
thing.
you get the simp who's like that, and they won't stop like berating the girl and like complimenting her and stuff like that. They won't stop. They're gonna continue to do it all the time. And like the white knight and shit. That's the one option. And the second option is like the ultimate incel who is like fucking. You're a girl in here. Aren't you such a fucking? Bitch?" You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna
Ew,
keep
a
derailing
girl?
like
Ew.
derailing her and stuff. And then the
What the
third
hell?
option is the friend that was with the girl that's just like chill because they're just like a normal person. But the second option happened a lot, and either the girl would talk shit back, and it was pretty funny, or like their boyfriend would come on the mic, and then he would get mad and say some shit, and it'd be back and forth, and it was also pretty funny.
Nah, but it doesn't hit the same anymore because like there are headsets now, but they're all like really
What about
cheap
on
and not that
Discord?
cool. Well, I mean, there's Discord too, but it's also like even on PS5, like they try to have the built-in mic that you can use. Not only is it not that great, but also like nobody really uses it, and when they do, they just play music over their mic, and
A
like
lot of
that's
people don't even know what's
fucking
on.
lame.
A
Yeah, a
lot
lot
of
of
people
people
don't even
don't
know
know.
what's on.
Like I
Like
can't tell you, like when because I got my PS5 and I got the Call of Duty Cold War with it, so I played it because that was one of my only PS5 games, and like I would just get into lobbies and somebody be blasting music. It would just piss me off every single time. Like, bro, just mute your mic. It's a button. Do it. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Oh
Yeah.
no.
now, if you want like to hear it, you got to go into search and destroy. That's what we did. We went to search and destroy, and if someone was on our team, doing like saying that like saying racist stuff or a squeak, we call them squeakers back in the day. We would just like sit in the
Oh
back
yeah,
of the
the squeakers.
hide in the back of the map, and then they would get so mad because all of our team would be dead except us, and they couldn't find us, and our team would be so mad because we weren't moving, and like they would say all this like they just be trash talking, and it was so funny because they couldn't do anything, and then sometimes we would win if we felt like it. Sometimes we would just lose. We would do stupid stuff and lose on purpose, like jump off a building or jump off a cliff or something, and then they would come in and they were just angry, and it was
oh
really
yeah.
funny, and then they'd be like 1v1 us, 1v1 us.
Oh
What
my
is
god, that was the best thing. So many people would just be like 1v1 me, bro. And it's like, no, I don't care. Like, what are you trying to prove? Get
One v
away from
one me
me.
in the team-based shooter, bro. Let's go.
1v1 me,
Yeah.
bro. Dude, Halo was toxic. Like, there's memes about Halo being toxic, but Halo was really fucking toxic back then. Especially, like, Halo Reach. Bro, that was such a toxic game. Oh my
Don't say Halo
god.
Toxic
Reach
plan.
back then, please. Don't say that.
Yeah,
Halo
it's
Reach
kind of
was
it's
wait. Halo Reach was what?
Don't
2010.
say back then. Don't talk about how old it was. Don't talk about how old it is
kind of
now.
sad. It's kind
How
of
many
sad. I
years does
wouldn't
it
even
take for
say.
something to be retro?
Like
It's already retro, dude. It's
What
like
no?
that
How
game
many?
came
it's
out
already
Wait, how many game? No, how many years was it
10.
before something 10? So
10,
Halo
like
Reach
No,
is
okay,
10.
well
retro.
it's 10
Holy
for a
shit!
classic,
Halo
20 for
Reach is
retro.
Halo. Oh, never mind then.
What's
No,
a
it's
Still,
not.
it's
classic?
almost getting there. It's almost getting there.
Look,
It's
Like
like
hey,
I think Halo Reached in
at least
2011.
it's readily available in the Master Chief Collection. But even then, it doesn't hit the same. Just
Yeah,
I saw people I
the
saw a
custom
tweet.
games.
I forget who made it, where someone was complaining about like calling games retro, like specifically GameCube and like, PS2 and shit. And it's
Mm,
like those games are like over 20 years old now.
they
Like
are
yeah,
they
retro. It sucks
at
to
the time,
say.
like this person I think was a kid during like, like Dreamcast and stuff like that. And I'm like, at the time that you were a kid, NES was considered retro, and that was only 20 years old.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
The
NES
at the time of like GameCube and stuff was considered retro, and theoretically it wasn't really that old then. It was like 20.
That's because
So
when people think of retro, they get this like the 8-bit has like the whole 8-bit style has taken over like fashion and just like what games call back to and stuff. That people
yeah,
think retro is only that, but it's whatever is old, and that's I mean the stuff is so old, and that's how you know it's like becoming retro because like I hate looking at prices again, but if you really look at the reason why stuff is rising in price because everybody who grew up with those games are now 20 some years old and they're trying to get those games back, just like the NES dudes were doing back in the day, or the SNES dudes were doing back in the day. Uh, like they're doing the same thing now. It's just our generation.
things
Uh,
like
and
you
the
see this
360 close, real close. 4 more years.
you see this recently with stuff like, for example, the 2001 Duke Nukem Forever coming out. You see people get nostalgic over like the 2000s, like early 2000s, like PC, PS2, Xbox, like art styles and shit. And it's like the people who grew up with that era of games are now adults, almost nearing their like 30s and shit. So I mean, like, you know, well, I shouldn't say nearing 30s. They're getting we're getting there. We're almost mid 20s.
Don't say that.
shut up. Shut up.
And it's like we are now. It's like you said. We are now the adults in the 2000s getting nostalgic over NES shit. Like that's us now.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
pretty soon, retro games instead of like them all being 8-bit and shit, they're about to be like PS1 pulling shit.
Yeah,
360 is
it's crazy to me that like fucking Sonic Adventure 2 is considered retro because it came out in like 2000.
Yeah, that game is over 20 years now.
It's retro and it's like, bro, that's crazy. That's my favorite game of all time. You're talking about.
It's also crazy how Sonic Unleashed is almost 15 years old.
Shut up. Shut up. I don't want to talk
Actually, yeah,
about it.
next year it will be 15 years old next year. 15.
I don't want to hear
Hey,
it.
hold on. How old is Sonic 06? Hold up. 2010,
17,
It's
no,
almost
16 years
20.
old. 16 years old.
That game is almost retro.
Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, 360 is like close.
Yo,
to
Sonic
being it.
Heroes is almost retro.
Next year. Next year.
It came out in 2003. I thought it was 2004.
I think it was 2003.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there. It's getting there. That's fucking.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
You know what's already retro? Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, shut up, bro. Heroes and Luigi's Mansion, man. I grew up on those games. Actually, Heroes was the last Sonic game that I was into before I stopped playing Sonic until Generations came out. And then I got back into
It's
the
been
series.
11 years since Sonic Generations came out. It's been 12 years since Sonic Colors came out. Think about
Sonic
that.
Mega Collection itself, a collection of retro games, is about to become retro.
Shut
How's that
up,
feel?
my God.
That's funny because there are people who are like nostalgic for those games just from that collection. Like they're nostalgic for that collection alone. And so many people had it.
I just got it. When did Wild Arms 3?
I'm not ready
For
for
the launch
that.
game.
For these
I
games
was
to
like,
be
oh my
called retro.
god, dude, it's 20 years old this year. What the fuck?
Wait, isn't
Really?
Smash Melee considered Metro now?
Yes.
Or retro
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
That's
It's over 20
that's
now.
insane, dude. Oh my God.
We're old now. How's
No,
it feel?
we're not.
We're
Shut
almost
up.
mid 20s.
I'm only
We're all-
22.
we're-
I am not old.
We're about to turn 23 in 2 months, Noah. We're
Shut
nearing
up.
it. We're halfway
Alright,
through.
23.
Shut
I
up.
think Mitchell's 23 too.
I am 23.
Yeah, y'all are old. We're not. Okay, shut up.
I noticed the thing, by the way, and it's probably because like when you're like 16, you shouldn't be friends with people when you're in their like 30s. But like once you hit like 20 years old, your friend groups really do become shit like fucking like 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds and shit. I've noticed that. Like at least that's what happened to me. Where I'm friends with a lot of people that are in their like late 20s, 30s, and
Well,
even
you're
like
also in
40s
a
and shit.
community of people with varying ages, so that kind of happens.
Yeah. But I've heard people say that before, like older people, where like your friend group gets more diverse in terms of age and shit because of work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like it really is true.
Yeah. Got like old folks in my job. That I know they're cool.
Yeah. Like someone I know that's one of my closest friends is like my mom's age, and that's really weird.
I mean, most of the people I hang out with, like from work and stuff like that, is like close to my age, like at worst, like late 20s. I don't really hang out with older people from work, but I'm nice to them. I talk to them, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I understand that though. I understand it's just like it just depends what kind of group you're in and kind of the things you do. Because like you're in the FGC a lot more than I am, so you talk to a lot of people like that more.
Fighting games gets you acquainted with many boomers. Gets you acquainted.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like you'll realize that a lot of the people in fighting games, specifically the older people, they're not really necessarily into games as a whole. They're only into like fighting games specifically.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, they're probably watching like the Cowboys game or some shit, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. But it's a very different kind of group than most game circles, from what I've noticed because of that.
Well, that's. I mean, that's kind of just how it is with the people with their favorite genre. Like in the RPG, I see that in the RPG scene. Like a lot of the people that got everybody into like older RPGs are like in their 40s and 30s now, and they talk about this stuff like, oh yeah, I remember when I was like a kid and I was like freaking waiting for like Dragon Warrior 4 to come out in 1992 or some shit. Or like during the 80s when the NES was big, and they're like hyping these old RPGs up, and a lot of them are like a lot of them hate the N64, or they didn't like the N64, and they talk about some of them talk about how they got stuck with the N64 because it had like no RPGs. It's like five of them, and uh, one of them is like really good and exclusive to the N64, and the other two big ones like Mega Man 64 is a better version on the PlayStation, and then you got Quest 64, which is pretty fucking garbage. So they like gas up a bunch of the stuff, and they only put RPGs
I
or
hate
some of the
fuckers that prefer Mega Man 64 over Legends. Yeah, have your lower quality music, bro. Let's go.
or some of the some of the like stuff they grew up like. There's this one guy I know who like they don't want to play anything else like modern but RPGs, but they'll go back and play Mario or Zelda on the NES because they grew up with the NES.
Yeah,
But Zelda on
that's
the
me.
NES is the shittiest one. Like what?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty true. But we're
I
about
mean,
to get
it's
a lot
what
of
they
people.
grew up with. But, you know,
Yeah,
like they're gonna be biased because it's what they grew up with.
Mm. Yeah,
I
and
mean
I've
like,
had
I've seen. Go ahead.
See,
uh,
people
mhm.
now, I think OG Zelda is like I don't I don't necessarily like the design decisions in it, but I will say its openness, and I've noticed this with shit like Dragon Quest 3, for example, where it has this but more refined. There is a simple charm to like retro games that are more open, but they're like they don't tell you anything about what you're doing. You just kind of have to figure it out. Like there is a charm to that. I can see people really liking about it, but yeah.
See, I
I mean, they
used
have
to
to
like
like it
stuff
now 'cause
like
you know what
that.
to do.
I used to like stuff like that when I was like younger and I had more time, but nowadays it's like I'm not trying to rush through again. I'm not one of those people who just wants to like beat something just to say I beat it. But if you're not going to tell me anything, like I'm kind of having that right now with like so Horizon Zero Dawn, like the new one, not Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, whatever it's called, the
Yeah.
new one. So it has this mode that I clicked where it's like it gives you a minimal HUD and it doesn't really like completely tell you where to go. It gives you an idea of it, but it doesn't like I guess give you this narrow path to go, which is fine. I like that, but it's kind of when you get to a point where like the game will give you this side objective, and it's like, do this thing, and it gives you no hint whatsoever, and you kind of just have to fuck around until you figure something out. That's when I don't like it too much, because it's like, if I don't even get like some kind of hint, bro, I'm gonna be here all day. I'm an idiot. Like, come on.
Those guys.
Elden Ring is built on that design philosophy, so you're gonna.
The thing is just that like you gotta build your game around that. Like, Horizon wasn't really built for that. It doesn't seem like a game that was kind of built for that. So it's just really not going to work when you go play with like a minimal HUD or stuff like that. Elden Ring's kind of it's sort of like that, but it's still like got like a map you can use and shit. So
it's not to the degree.
It's not entirely like that. Or
I'm fine if most stuff is like kept, like if you have like your main objective marker and it's like this is where you should go to do the next thing, and then all the side stuff is like you choose to do it. We're not going to guide you that much on it. That's fine. That's what Horizon does. It's just when you get to those sections where it's like your movement is so free that you don't really know what to do, and the game doesn't really help you too much.
Elden Ring is designed. I shouldn't say like that. I shouldn't say like that, but it's designed to where it's open enough and doesn't tell you anything because they want you to kind of go your own route. Like, it's supposed to be like a choose your own adventure kind of thing.
You got options available.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna.
But, like when the game was first coming out, it had this whole like mystery allure to it where everyone was having, because like when everyone was discovering shit initially, it had this thing of like everyone had a completely different experience.
And see, the thing with that game and with some other games, they're like that. There are usually stuff you like. You just pay attention to the world. There's usually stuff you can like kind of find. The problem with a lot of the older ones, the older NES games, because and I understand it because of memory limitation and stuff. They didn't really tell you. They didn't really tell you even in game where to really go. Or even if they did, it was like a really cryptic thing. So a lot of those games, older games like that, would come with manuals. All right, so people would know like what to do and
that's also why guidebooks existed,
or guidebooks.
You
and
would
like those old heads would say that, and they're the same old heads. Like it's kind of like the thing with save states. How old heads get like kind of pissed off at save states. Like they may be mad at save states, but they were a kid playing like something like Zelda, and they got like stuck at a point like a boss, and they probably would be using save states to beat that game, just like they use guides to beat the games because that's how they did it.
Or no, it's like the people who complain about DLC. It's like, why do I gotta pay for stuff after the game comes out? And it's like, bro, you had to go buy a giant fucking book just to figure out what to do next. What are you talking about?
In GTA 3, if you don't have the map that comes with the game or look it up online, you were fucked because there's no mini map in that game.
There's no
map in that game.
That's the racket.
You have to use a physical map.
That's the racket. You gotta sell them fucking
guidebooks. It's like Zelda 1 doesn't even tell you what to do, does it? It's like the dude's like, it's dangerous to go alone, take this, have fun, figure it out. Like
you have to pick it up on context clues, and sometimes the context clues they don't give you.
That's so fucked.
It is gonna like sit there, make a video like, this is genius game design because it lets the player discover this cryptic fucking thing that no one could fucking figure out. I just looked up to fucking say this dumb shit in the first place.
I know Monster Hunter specifically had it like set up as like a fucking racket to where like nowadays, they've got like all the stats and all like the fucking monster health numbers or whatever the hell like in the game that you can look up. But back in the day, like none of that was there, and it was all in the fucking guidebooks. Like they were trying to get you to fucking buy those guidebooks.
Wait, they still don't have monster health. Like they don't have health bars.
They don't have health bars, but you can like check like a certain health, like their health ranges and shit, and like the
animations. The animations.
And the stats. Well, the animations always like gave you some kind of indication, but there's plenty of stuff. Like there's plenty of stuff that they just did not tell you with like the stats that you can just look up now. Or like what a monster dropped, for example.
Well, I feel like
you can just look that up in the game.
I feel like Monster Hunter as a game kind of works with something like that because it's like your goal is to hunt monsters and it feels good to hunt it. Though after a while, I will say there are some monsters where you hunt them. It's like, God, it's been like 20 fucking hours.
The stats and stuff, those numbers become way more important when you get to the higher ranking like stuff, like where you start to just get one shot. like
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you just start to get murdered. Like that stat stuff becomes way more important when you get further up. Like you're gonna need it. So that's just how they did it. They fucking didn't have any of that shit in the game, and they just had you buy the guidebook instead.
Yeah.
That's how it'd be.
Yeah, a lot of RPGs would come with that because if you play like something like Phantasy Star 2 now, you're gonna be wondering like what the hell you're supposed to do. You may not realize, oh, after like doing something, the game doesn't tell you. This is a great example of Phantasy Star 2 where like you have to go to the store to buy a knife, right, for the second character so they can like actually do damage and fight the enemies. But guess what? It doesn't tell you which weapons equipped to certain characters. You got to buy the specific knife, and because it's like doing this role play shit, where like it's like saying stuff from that world, you don't even know what the hell the knife really is because it's a different name than the knife. It's like some other crap because it's in the role play. That's a cool thing like for the world. But if you just pick up that game and try to play it with no manual, you're kind of screwed. You're gonna be
Yeah.
dying. You're probably gonna put that shit down and be like, I'm done with this.
If you were in America with fighting games and you wanted to know, well, like frame
Oh, that
rate,
was the worst.
you were fucked because the only way you can get it, and I have one for Darkstalkers 3/VSAV. Now this is an official one for the Sega Saturn port, so it's not as extensive as others, but it has really cool art, which is why. But basically in Japan, they didn't have this issue because they had fan-made strategy guide magazines that they made that were bibles essentially for the games that had like frame data, what the moves did and all that shit, like actual like strings you could use, and basically all the info you would have needed if you wanted to look up shit. In America, you didn't really have that, and you had to rely on official strategy guides that told you absolutely nothing.
And if you didn't have
Or
the manual, if you didn't have the manual of certain games, the only games that really gave you the move list was like Tekken. Uh, you didn't have the move list at all. It wasn't. They didn't put it in the game. They didn't start putting it in the game until like the Dreamcast era, where it became like a standard Dreamcast and PS. It became a standard to put the move list in the game. But if you don't have it, you don't have the move list at all. And this is back in the day. Let's say you got this game like disc only or some shit. Like you couldn't just go on the internet because not everybody. It's not like as easy as it was now. So you're just kind of like stuck there figuring stuff out. Uh, and like that's cool for like an arcade experience. But even the arcades will have the move list on the cabinet somewhere for certain characters. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
yeah,
But it's
it
just
depends.
annoying.
Uh, I know. What was it? CVS2 has it on the actual cabs, and the MVC2 did, and like Tekken 5 does, but otherwise I
Especially
haven't
in a
really
3D
seen it.
fighter where there's a ton of moves and you want to pick
Yeah.
which moves are the right moves for certain situations and you don't know which moves are doing what. Like
Yeah.
it's
It's
bad.
like and then like the official and unofficial strategy guys would just tell you bullshit like fucking, do you know you can shoot a fireball as Ryu, bro? And that'd be the only
No
thing they tell you.
fucking way. How do you do it? Well, we're not going to tell you.
Have you seen the MK9 strategy guide that was official?
No.
It's really bad. And basically the first portion of it where they just tell you like fucking development history and like actual competitive history, that part's pretty cool. But um the second half of it where they show you combos, all of the combos are fake, and what they do is they show slideshows of every single frame of animation for some fucking, and they like edit the frames, like they edit the pictures to make it look like the combos are real or something.
Beautiful, dude. That's exactly how you
Beautiful.
make one. Nah, dude, I
Yeah.
just I just played Dragon Ball Z Budokai on my GameCube and I just mashed buttons until I won. And you know what? It worked for a while. I didn't actually
Yeah.
play fighting games
Yeah.
as a kid.
See, that one had the move list. Well, that one was weird. Those were weird because you had to like put the stuff on your character to make it get the fullest out of them. But they had the move list in the game. The other ones just don't have it in the game at all, and it's just like I mean, like nowadays it's fine, but said back in the day, like it's terrible.
Yo, we kind of did live in that strategy guide era, though. I mean, that's the weird thing is that we are from that era where everything transitions. So people are like, I was in the strategy guide era. I was in the computer look shit up era. And we're like, we're in
Yeah.
both?
Yeah, we were
Hi,
in
how you
both.
doing?
The day I
Yep.
discovered the GameSpot forums where they posted walkthroughs and cheats was the best day of my life.
Yeah, dude, like game facts and shit? Like, oh my God.
Oh my god, the days I remember with GTA, especially on a PSP, I would have to like when I couldn't get on the computer all the time, and obviously you can't look this stuff up at school because school is gonna block the website. And if you somehow get there and you're looking up GTA in elementary school, I mean they're gonna stop you, right?
Yeah.
So I would get like note paper, and I would have to write down like every cheat from like these old hypercam YouTube videos or or game facts or something like that.
Yeah.
And I would have to carry it around with me. So in my PSP case, there would always be this freaking just piece of paper there. And sometimes I would like mess up and miswrite a cheat or something like that, and I'd be stuck in the game. It was just bad. Now I can just pull up my phone anytime and just enter the cheat code in, and I'm good. But those days were different.
A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
like
people.
when I play PS2 games now on my like actual PS2. I bought one recently. This wasn't put on the podcast because this happened when we were dying, well dead, like
The
and we
Great
got
Blackout.
somehow. Yeah, the Great Blackout. So I bought a PS2 again after years, and I started the PS2 collection, which is why I mentioned the GTA trilogy earlier. And like I make that PS2 shit a like fucking spiritual experience where like I basically just like shut off my computer and I only like focus on that and like I play it like how I did when I was a child. I just literally fucking just play it. Like it's like I don't know. I can't do it anymore. I can't when I play the PS2. I can't bring myself to go on my phone. I don't know what it is, but
You want to have the
maybe it's the
authentic
fucking nostalgia
experience.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want the authentic. The only difference is I don't have a CRT and it's on some fucking Panasonic flat screen that's old as shit. But
Yeah, playing retro console, like playing any console before the 360 on like a flat screen, it's not great. It
I
just
have a CRT. I
there's
had
like
to
the lag between like controllers and like what's happening in the game and shit too. It all
I've
sucks.
gotten used to it. But it's like, uh, I want
when
to
I
see
was
the.
when I was younger. I had a C. Oh, I still have my CRT, but that was all I had to play the games on. I didn't have a flat screen until like 20. I don't remember I had a flat screen, but it was like later on. So I had to play my 360 and my Wii on the CRT uh, the entire time. So I was playing like MVC 3 online on a fucking CRT uh, on
Yeah, I
my
feel like
Xbox 360.
that's an our generation thing I've noticed, where
Yeah.
like the older people that were playing 360 and shit, they usually had like HD TVs, while like the kids that played like 360 PS3 Wii, we had it on CRT still.
Well, that's because like we had what our parents gave us. I mean, I had my like
Yeah,
I still have like I have old YouTube videos that aren't public that show like the tiny TV I used to
Fortunate.
have, the tiny CRT that I
maybe
used to
one day
have.
we'll upload this as a bonus thing behind your back.
Fuck off. But that TV I had until probably 2015, 2014, somewhere around there. And then I got a slightly better TV, and then I got like a bigger, not like flat screen, but a bigger one after that in like 2017.
I used to have a massive fucking CRT TV. I think I still have pictures of it, but it was fucking massive. It was the one we used to have in the living room, and I had my HD TV that's mounted on the wall. It's always been there. It's been since like 2012 maybe. Yeah, about
Privileged,
like
privileged,
2011, 2012.
privileged.
Well, it was because it was an older one, and they just
Imagine
kind of
being
shoved it in my
privileged.
room.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, but I had a big ass CRT and it was amazing. And I used to have like an old like tiny Panasonic one too. But like
I
that big ass one was fucking insane.
I had a giant TV too. I'm pretty sure. I guess it was CRT because this was like way before that kind of technology was in TVs. So it was a big TV. I'm guessing it was still considered a CRT. So we had one. It was like it had like the rectangle, like kind of like the flat screen kind of size, but then like the second half, the lower half, was I guess like the sound system to the TV, because the sound would come out of it. It was really weird, but it was really cool. We had that TV for like ever.
We had that big TV in our living room, where like if you like fell on you, you die.
Oh yeah.
That TV.
No,
Dude, on my old like big CRT, I used to hear like Christian radio Christmas music constantly from the fucking speakers. It was fucking terrible.
Just see, I had I had an older CRT TV at my house because the one I have now is my grandma's house. And this one I got from her. But the older one, it took me a while to get like an HD TV because like my mom would ask like, "You want a new TV?" And I was like, "No," because my old CRT TV had a DVD player inside it. Like it was like a combo.
Oh,
So I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, and so I would
privileged
like,
people in here.
so I would play. I mean, I would have to play like pirated DVDs because every time I wanted a DVD, it would be like go to some store in the mall and then have like pirated DVDs. I didn't realize they were pirated at all. I just saw it
I
on
love
Blackdisk.
those.
I was like, because I was like, oh, I can get this movie early. That's pretty cool, and I would watch it. I didn't even like recognize the quality was worse because they recorded it in the theater. But I had fucking that TV, and I was like, it's good. But then the TV started, and that's scary about getting a CRT TV, is that sometimes they can decolor or discolor in certain areas, and that means the TV's going bad. So, like one area, it got like really bad, where like the color, it was like this blue stain, but obviously it changes colors depending on what's on the TV. So it would change to whatever's on the TV, and it looked really bad. And so they were like, "Oh, the TV." My grandma was paranoid about stuff catching on fire, so when she heard that, she was like, "You need to get a new TV, because we're not having anything catch on fire." And then I got a flat screen, but this other CRT, you're talking about hearing shit out through speakers. All right, we didn't tell them the story about fucking the big man down south.
Oh my god!
And how he's been here. He's been here since I was a kid. He's come back. He's come back. He's been coming back.
Okay, you are hyping this up way too much for what is essentially just a radio station that you're picking up. That
we
calls
can't
itself
find
the
the radio station, Noah. We can't find
the radio
station.
It is not some mystical man. It is just like some radio station or something.
You were not a believer. You were not
look.
a believer.
Okay,
I was not a believer. But
you are probably. You are probably.
I've heard it, and then I believe.
I have heard it,
and then I believe.
I'm sure what it is there's somebody in Jay's area that uses like a radio, or like is broadcasting something, and he's just picking it up.
Big man down south, he's organized.
We can't find it. We can't find it. You go look it up. Go look. Type in the big man.
I'm not gonna look it up because I'm not gonna find anything.
Exactly.
The big man down south.
It's probably some local radio thing.
But it would still be on the internet. There would still be somewhere on the internet.
Not everything is on the internet, Jay. Maybe something that's
radio
so small.
It's not dead off the grid.
It's lost media. Okay, technically it's not lost media because he fucking still does it.
And he's also racist because he was like,
the day the big man down south is found, Noah, and then fucking.
So we're on the podcast, so we can't really say.
He's gonna turn out to be like a Charles Manson that hasn't been caught yet, and you're gonna like eat your words, dude.
Oh, yeah, if I end up getting like the biggest catch of like the FBI's history, and you're gonna be like sitting there like, well, he was just some random radio broadcaster. Watch me like the mastermind of like trying to like take down America or something.
I'm sure that's exactly what's gonna happen.
We're gonna get paid millions. We're gonna be in documentaries, and you're gonna see none of it.
The big man down south, he wants to split the country. That's what he wants to do.
That's exactly it.
Ironically, that is what he wants to do. I mean, no, we're trying to stop a terrorist, dude.
Okay, he actually is racist because I remember he was saying like some stuff. I mean, you're on a podcast, so I'm not gonna. Even though I can't say it because I'm black, but I'm not gonna say it. We're on a podcast, but he was saying like the NER, something with that, like getting some NERs, something like that. So it's probably low key like a hidden KKK.
What if the big man down south is also black though? Have you ever thought about that?
I'm pretty sure he's not black.
He's Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah, he's like Uncle Ruckus. He can still like be like supportive of neo-Nazis and shit.
You know?
He could.
Big man down
His
south.
So, I mean,
weird
Noah, you're
thing.
gonna like eat your own words one of these days. You know,
I'm
you're gonna
I'm
like take me
sure I
down.
will. But so going back on track, I forgot this. I actually did have a CRT, which is the same that Jay was talking about. It had like the DVD and it had the VCR like slots. I had like
I
the
just had
fancy
one with
one.
a VCR slot.
Yeah, so smart thing that my brothers and I did. I think I've mentioned this before off the podcast, but smart thing we did. We had a desk, right, and we had our old purple GameCube, and we had our TV on the corner of the desk, like it was hanging off. There's all this room on the desk, and we just have it on the corner because we're intelligent children. And what happened? We were playing it one night, and I think we had like lights on the TV because it was like a holiday or just because we wanted something like that. And the fucking TV just falls onto the GameCube. So the GameCube breaks, and then the TV has a giant hole in it because it went through the GameCube. So we're just like, fuck, we lost our GameCube, and then we had to get a new one, which I got for my birthday, and then I got stolen by my brother, and I haven't seen it since. I'm pissed. Just
My
remind
aunt
me of that.
still has my Street Fighter 5 copy all these years.
Bruh, I don't trust people on borrowing anymore. Like, my brothers will come home or, like, somebody will be like, hey, can I borrow this? And usually I'm like, no. And the reason is because I've lost so much shit from borrowing. I have lost Pokemon Coliseum. I've lost Luigi's Mansion. I lost that Zelda Ocarina of Time GameCube thing that existed. I lost all that shit from letting people borrow it. My GameCube and some of the stuff that came with it. Like, I don't let people borrow shit
I
anymore.
lost my Mario Kart Double Dash. When I was a
Dude,
kid.
I can't remember who was getting a tattoo in my house, but the person came to our house and I was in school, and during when he was here, and he brought his kid over, and like I was told before, and I was like, yeah, and like they asked if he could just play like PlayStation 3 or some shit. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. Uh, Turns out when I get home, the dude and his kid stole my Batman Arkham City and Street Fighter 4. And Batman Arkham City had just come out, by the way.
That's
Just putting that
so
out there.
lame. What a bunch of
I was
assholes.
so mad. Like, I was fucking furious at that one. So yeah, I'm still missing Batman Arkham City on PS3, but I bought it on PC, so it's been qualm, but you know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
so
track them down, find them, take something
exactly.
of theirs.
Yeah,
Years later.
when kids borrow stuff, they like to take stuff away.
Yeah, that
And
was
that's
10
why
years ago. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I like to this day I'm still like protective over my
You
games.
see, like, I didn't let them borrow it. I just like, yeah, he can play it in my room. I don't care while I'm going at school. And they fucking took it out of the house. And I got that.
No, I
A
wasn't.
debt,
Wait, what?
a debt is owed. You have to take it back.
Exactly. But no,
They probably lost that shit.
I was in
Then
fucking
you,
Yeah.
well,
eighth.
then you have to take something of theirs,
Oh my god.
collect interest, take an arm.
I was in eighth grade, and this is like when I moved, so I didn't have a lot of friends, but I was with this one dude. I was talking to this one dude, and we were talking about stuff. He's like, yo, I'm gonna let you borrow this Mega Man and Sonic crossover comic if you let me borrow, like, a game. I let him borrow Luigi's Mansion and that Zelda Ocarina of Time GameCube
You
port.
dumb motherfucker.
I know, I'm so fucking dumb. I'm so fucking dumb. But I let him borrow it, right? Because he was really nice, he's a cool dude, we were friends. And fucking, like, a couple days later, he's like, so I broke Luigi's Mansion and the Zelda game, and me being the stupid eighth grader I was like, damn, that sucks. I'm gonna keep your comic now though in exchange. So I kept the Mega Man comic. I don't know where it's at now, by the way, but I kept it. But
I would have broke him in half.
I am sure he
Yeah.
didn't break them, and he still has them to this day, and I'm still pissed about that.
I mean, hey,
It
man,
would have been so smart if you were just like, okay, then give me the money that they cost him. You know?
Yeah, I should have just been like, all right, show me the destroyed parts. I think I did, and he was like, I threw them away already. I should have been like, well, go get them. I want
Yeah.
proof.
Yeah.
Fucking
Exactly.
asshole, dude. No, and then I let my aunt borrow a GameCube controller and Pokemon Coliseum for her kid. And I was like, he can play that, sure, whatever. And I go to their house, and I'm like, I'm going to grab this while I'm here. I found the controller. I couldn't find fucking Pokemon Coliseum. And I'm pissed because now the game goes for like $100. I don't want to pay $100. I owned that game.
you can get it for 50 or 60.
I hate life. Basically, I don't let people borrow things. But it's bad because the Dreamcast I own, I may have borrowed from somebody in the games, and I never gave it back because I moved away. So I guess I'm kind of even karma
Yeah,
wise.
and one of those games you have is Skies of Arcadia.
Oh yeah, I have Skies of Arcadia. But it makes you feel better. I have Sonic Adventure 1 in a shitty GameStop old case, so it's not in its actual case.
And you have Sonic Adventure 2?
No, I don't.
That's $100 right now.
It was weird though, because he had like 4 copies of Shenmue, like the big box Shenmue. So I just took one of those too. But he had like 4 of them. It was weird.
I hope on God that the retro market crashes and all these prices go down.
I hope so too,
pray
man.
for its downfall.
Too.
I can't
If
collect.
crypto can die today, then fucking retro games can die
I just
today.
can't collect games anymore. I hate collecting games. Like I'll get new games, but I hate getting old games because they all cost so much. And it's like I, for the most part, might not play these that much. I just want them on my shelf, but I'm not gonna pay like $40+ for a lot of these games. It's not happening.
It's gonna. It's a bubble, and the sad thing is that it's gonna take a bit, but like the bubble's gonna happen to where people are just not gonna want to pay these prices for games anymore. And then when that bubble pops, I'm not saying everything will go down because if something is actually rare, then it's gonna stay rare. Like there's nothing you can do about that, but get lucky one day or emulate. But a lot of this other stuff, a lot of the stuff that like actually sold, like these GameCube games that sold pretty decently enough, or I don't know, Pokemon Emerald, a game that while it is like the lowest selling mainline Pokemon game, it's still a Pokemon game that sold 7 million copies, which some games can only get up to 1 million. Some games can't even get up to even that. So there are too many copies of this game out there for this thing to be $330 in dollars in the first place. It doesn't make any sense. And it's Pokemon. I don't even care the demand. There's more supply than demand, and we know this because we don't have population counts, and we know that there's stuff in warehouses. I've seen stuff in warehouses that people are just holding in warehouses. There are multiple copies of games that people are trying to inflate it, and it's only going to get worse if people just stop buying into it. And also, if they get re-released, like if they let's say like Nintendo finally decides to be smart and releases all the GameCube games on the Switch, like especially the big ones, like the price the price is about to crash because it happened in 64 because the prices are crashing down for that. Because
well, I think
my thing is like Melee, for example, like people always say like, oh, because Melee got a resurgence in like 2013 because the competitive community and all that shit. Like, I don't care. Literally everyone and their mother had a fucking copy of Melee.
You go look at the sales. You know the sales
like,
is there.
It's literally like the most common GameCube game in existence.
Sonic Adventure 2. Everyone had a copy of Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes.
Well, that was probably
one of the.
That's probably one of the cheaper games. I don't think.
Yeah,
Adventure
exactly.
2 Battle
Everybody had a
much,
copy.
Yeah.
How much is Sonic Heroes right now?
It's like it can be like $20 to $15.
The Sonic games aren't.
Oh, okay, I got it
much.
for like 10. So,
but they sold like I looked at the sales and like Adventure 2 is in number. It's only in number 12 in the top selling GameCube games. Yeah. But Melee is like at the top. I think Mario Kart is number 1. Just the Nintendo stuff is at the top. Like it's not like these things did not sell. It's just that people are, especially Nintendo, people are just pushing it higher than it actually needs to, than it actually is. Yeah. And everyone's like, well, that's just the market. Like, the people who are reselling, like, that's just the market. It's just how it is. But like, people who are buying are like, those people are getting smarter. And it's like, fucking, this shit's stupid. Like this don't make any sense.
I mean, it doesn't help that the good old pandemic did like it put a bunch of that stuff, but you're starting to notice that stuff crashing. Like, I mean, crypto's crashing. I'm starting to see like TCG stuff, like Pokemon especially. You're seeing that a lot more in like stores now. Like it's getting to the point where that stuff is kind of dying down, and we're getting back to some kind of normal. So I expect that market to get there eventually too.
The retro market was going in that direction, but the pandemic definitely fucking pushed it further. Because at the time, people were looking for nostalgic shit during the pandemic. A lot, I've noticed, and
they were buying at these high prices.
They were buying into it. Yeah.
They're buying high. They didn't know how to collect. Everybody else who collected before didn't knew how to collect, and they weren't going to pay. For instance, they on eBay will be like this best offer thing, right? So sometimes the best offer on eBay would be like $50 for this game. But if you click the lowest price, plus buy now, you may go down and you may see that price be like $25 for like the same thing. But the only reason why it's $50 is because they say it's new or something like that, or it's sealed. Which I mean, like I'm just thinking how someone can just seal a game up, really good, and then like freaking get a bunch of money from it, because they did that, which has happened before.
Sealed is the biggest ripoff imaginable.
And people were just getting the best offer because they didn't know how to fucking use eBay or some shit. And then like everyone's like, okay, it's selling for 50, so we got to make all these 50, and that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and then also people just artificial inflation.
Yeah, and like the local game store I have, they usually will look to eBay for their prices, and it's like I feel like they don't completely know what they're looking for, because sometimes there'll be a game that's like ridiculously priced, and then you go online, it's like I could get that for about half that price with the right person.
Even stores do that, because I go into a store, in stores, like, even I know other resellers are out, but stores even now know that like resellers are coming to their store to go buy stuff for cheap. So if you're trying to sell, like, I think I saw on Twitter a picture of this thing, and they were selling like GameCube games. They do it for like super high prices, like higher than they actually are. And I'm like, no one is gonna buy that. Like, no one is gonna come in. No, they're not selling. They're just holding stuff. They're not pushing any sales of that shit because no one's buying that shit. And then the people who would want to buy that stuff, like the resellers or even someone who's interested, are not gonna buy it because it's too expensive. They have better alternatives to go buy it instead of buying it from them. And like stores need to understand that, like, you're I know you're a business and everything, but you might as well lower the price, because no one's gonna buy it at high prices, because no one is buying it at high price at these rich people who are like just like trying to use games as an investment, like stocks or some shit. That's the only thing that's like that's buying that expensive shit.
Yeah, no, my favorite thing is just to go on Twitter and see people post a picture and the caption is just "nature is healing," and you just see a stocked shelf of like trading cards or graphics cards or something.
The graphics card market finally going down is the best thing imaginable.
It really, like, it sucks that it was so hard to build PCs for people. Like, you pretty much had to either like go to a site and pay ridiculous amounts of money to have them build it for you, or you had to buy a pre-built. It got to a ridiculous point.
People chat on pre-builds for years for valid reasons, but those were the saviors.
Look, I have a pre-built and mine has lasted years and it plays just about anything. I'm just saying, I have a decent pre-built. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they're like, I do too. There's like obvious like cons to them, but
not a lot of the time they're not always structured the best. That's the big issue. Is they kind of like have really poor like ventilation and shit like that. But it's like at the same time, I don't know. I mean, listen, especially nowadays, it's hard as fuck to get your hands on some of these cards.
Look, paying $1,000 for a pre-built compared to paying thousands for the parts, like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Specifically, the cards are gonna fuck you nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not great.
Oh, let's not forget the PS5s.
We could just have an entire segment on PS. Let's talk about consoles real quick. So we've had this exchange in our group about new consoles. So when the Switch came out, it wasn't as bad as like the PlayStation 5 and stuff is now. But when the Switch came out, it wasn't like available that much within stores. And I still remember the funniest fucking thing. It was Easter. And like, we all did our Easter stuff and we were talking, and I was talking to Brian and some other people were in the call, and I was like, I'm just going to call Walmart and see if they have it. Because Brian had been searching for days for a Switch and been trying their best to get one. And I just called them like, hey, do you guys have a Switch? And you just hear them go, yeah, we have one. And I'm just like, put that shit on hold. I'm coming right now. So on Easter Day, I'm driving up to Walmart, which I would never do in my life, just so I could get
There was a part 2 to this?
Switch. There is a part 2 to this. But no, I went there, and I got my Switch, got Breath of the Wild, and the cashier goes, can I play that? I can't find those things. I was like, nah, man, I'm going home. I'm playing this shit right away. But
see, I had a similar situation like a few days later where the person held it. But you see, no, I got my revenge with the PS5
you did.
because I got my fucking check from Mr. Biden, all right? And what happened was I sat there. I wasn't even looking for a PS5. I bought my Cintiq instead, and I was just like, if I get a PS5, I get a PS5, right? That's how I was going about it.
Right.
And GameStop, magically, I woke up at the magic time of like 8 a.m. for some reason. It was like I was jolted awake, like God Himself made me awake. And I got on my PC. I saw on Twitter that sorry, not GameStop, GameStop was doing a deal, like a bundle for 800. It was kind of a ripoff. But it came with like Miles Morales and Spider-Man PS4 and Call of Duty Cold War, and it was better than the Avengers bundle for the same price. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll refresh. I'll see what happens.
Trying to get the PS5.
I managed to get it through that.
Is it really?
The PS5 was painful.
It was, but was it really revenge when I wasn't looking for a PS5 at that point when you got it? I didn't start looking for a PS5 till like March/April.
It was a moral victory, Noah.
I don't think
so.
I
got that
I redeemed it. I got the PS5, 2 controllers, and Miles Morales and Spider-Man PS4 with Call of Duty Cold War, which I barely played, and I got it instantly while all these people were clamoring for their fucking PS5.
That money was a graduation gift that mom had, early graduation gift my mom gave me to get both the Xbox and the new Xbox, Series S and the PS5, and I got the Series S like day one. And I was able to go and get it, but I had to bring a suitcase with me because like I knew niggas were gonna steal it or try to steal it. They saw, so I put in like I literally got it. Like if people were getting the thing and like running out of Target, like they like forced them to put it in the back, no one could see what they got, and I put it in the suitcase and I rolled it upstairs and I opened it up and like I actually enjoyed it. I was playing Sonic Unleashed at like a stable frame rate for the first time in my life, and that was amazing. And then the PS5 took like a week to get because the queues and stuff. But I had to do a glitch with Walmart and have it already in my cart before the queue opened up again. And so because you would get in your cart, you would be entering your credit card information and they'd be like, "Up, sold out."
No, the Walmart experience was terrible. So when I was looking, so I didn't start looking for a PS5 till like March, right? And they came out in November the previous year. So I didn't care for a while because I was like, I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to put in the effort to try and get something when it doesn't have a lot of games. But then around March, I was like, because at this point, Jay had gotten one, Mitchell had gotten one, Brian had gotten one. I don't think Race has one. I think that's the only person that doesn't
Race
have one.
does not, no.
Yeah, I know. So, but y'all got it. So I was like, fuck it. I'm getting this. Some games are coming out for it that I want to play, whatever. And I tried Best Buy, and Best Buy's was god awful. Even when I got it, it was like it's not available in your store, so like you can't really do anything. So I was like, what the fuck? Get it mailed to me or whatever, but it couldn't. And then Walmart's program was shit too. I literally was on a shift at work, and I was kind of like stealthily checking Walmart every like 15 minutes when they would restock it. Never could get it. It wasn't until sometime in April when GameStop did this bundle, and I saw somebody say, hey, if you just mash add to cart, eventually you'll get it. So I just found the Call of Duty bundle where it was Cold War and like an extra controller and the fucking console and stuff, and I just mashed my clicking button until I just somehow got it in my cart. It was awful.
I was on the
PS5. I got the better deal than you because I got Spider-Man.
I already had Spider-Man.
The reason that was so hard to get.
Wait, no, I got Spider-Man with it. No, I did. I forgot. Yeah, I got Spider-Man.
Oh, did we get the same bundle?
We got the same bundle, yeah.
I got nothing with my bundle, but the only reason I went so hard to get it was because of Ratchet and Clank. If they did not show Ratchet and Clank, I would have not cared about this system. But the fact they showed a new Ratchet and Clank, which, I mean, I was waiting for a good one for like almost a decade. So that's how I was like getting mad. I couldn't get it in the freaking queue because it was a bunch of bots and people selling it for $1,000 on eBay and shit. Some people weren't even selling the console. They're doing the same thing with the Steam Deck, where they don't even sell the console. They're selling like the voucher or like the freaking placement for a Steam Deck. Like, you have my place in line for like, and they're selling it for $900.
Yeah. I fucking I was on the grind. I fucking downloaded a shit ton of the fucking store apps I'm never fucking using. I downloaded fucking like a bunch of shit, had a credit card loaded up on like each one, and was just fucking ready to fucking get it as soon as they fucking like went online, and then I just found it on Twitter like a week before Christmas. I don't know how the fuck I
You
got it. I
lucky
don't know how.
ass.
It was really funny how smooth my experience was with that, to
I
be honest.
hate you.
I downloaded the apps you gave me, but I didn't really need them. I just got on. I didn't have any glitches with the card or anything. I didn't have to wait. I just went on, bought it like I would buy a can of tuna on Amazon. It was like really easy. It was
You are
fun.
the lucky motherfuckers because I had the same experience with the Steam Deck. Let me tell you about my Steam Deck reservation fucking episode. So it's like the gods themselves were laughing at me because what happened was I was trying to get my internship for my final year of college. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go do this interview for this internship. And they pushed it back like twice to the point that I had the internship interview on my birthday, which is already shitty. And then fucking the same day, the Steam Deck's reservation opened. And I was like, I want this thing. So what happened was the reservation opened and I couldn't get it reserved because so many people were doing it that I couldn't press the damn button without a problem. And then I had to go to my interview. So I went to my interview, came back, and then I was able to reserve it. But by that point, I already got pushed to the like Q2 line or whatever because it was like an hour. That many fucking people kept it up.
That was the day nature healed after the Switch debacle. Because I got the PS5 and you got fucked on that. That was the day nature healed.
I hate you so much. Getting a PS5 fucking sucked.
It was painful.
That's why I didn't want to go through with the Series X. I usually don't buy consoles back to back like that anyway. Like, if I get a Series X, like, to give an example, like, let's say Xbox One, right? I never got an Xbox One. But if I did get one, it would be at the end of its life cycle. There's kind of I usually get one at the beginning, like later. Okay, I kind of want that, and then I got rid of it later.
Mm-hmm.
I just do not have a current reason to get an Xbox Series X, really. And I don't have the money for that. And fucking like, I don't feel like going through the debacle of the PS5 situation again.
See, it's not even like the S is not even like that. It's only the X on the PS5. The S is like you can find the like I've been going to stores and like these old stores will have a bunch of S's like ready to be sold, but it's only the X in the like in both versions of the PS5.
Yeah, that's what's weird. The digital version of the PS5 sells, but the S doesn't sell as much. I find that weird.
Well, it sells.
Is it the labeling?
No one's scalping it.
But no,
But
is it the labeling? Because the PlayStation 5 is considered the PS5 in both versions, but the Xbox makes a difference with the X and S.
I think that is a part of it. I think the Series S and Series X name is really fun.
I think it's so much cheaper. That's why I was able to get both because they got the S version that was cheaper. That was $300. That's just $300 instead of being $200 or $500 consoles.
Yeah, the S is one of the most
because of that, a bunch
consoles.
of the sellers like, oh, we don't do that much return on it because people. I mean, people will buy the Series S. They're not going to go and like go buy one for $500. Because what's the point of doing that when you can just go buy a Series X? The whole point of that is like it's a cheaper console.
Honestly, if I got an Xbox, it'd probably be a Series S because like the games I would play on it would all be like downloadable stuff. Like I could just download Halo, like both Halos, and play them, and like a couple other things. I don't care to get discs for Xbox, so if I wanted one, I would just get an S because it's like the most affordable console on the planet.
Honestly, I like it more than the PS5 right now because the PS5 doesn't even have a lot of the exclusives that was getting hyped up right now, and like the fact that I have like this old a library of stuff. The fact that this is the only system where you can on the current market where you can actually go and buy the old library of stuff and not have to pay some subscription service or have it through the cloud or something stupid like that. Because this PS5 thing is coming out. Like you can't even play PS3 games on the system. You gotta run it through the cloud because they were too lazy to make PS3 emulation work through the system. And
that's just the only thing.
But I can pull out this Xbox and I can play like these old 360 games. Not only am I just playing them, but they're enhanced. They're fully enhanced. A lot of them have higher frame rates, and a lot of these games aren't on PC traditionally unless you play like an Xbox emulator, which people are still working on, and not a lot of computers can run. They're enhanced. They run better. It's all like again a good storefront to get stuff. Like it's all in one package. I know the exclusives for Xbox, like the new ones, are not. I'm not. They're not that great. They're just not infinitely got a lot of problems. But the fact you have all that library there is what makes it. And like the PS5, when we had the PS4, and now it's gonna have the PS1 and 2 tied to a subscription service.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
Just sucks that they're super tough to get. I mean, the PS5 doesn't really matter too much because most of the games coming out right now for it are also on the 4. Not all of them, but like
only Ratchet. Ratchet is the only true exclusive. In return,
my thing with like the Xbox shit is like that's really cool, but for me personally, I really like games obviously, but I notice I play them less, and like it's like I don't really care to get like for example, Game Pass is cool, but I don't really care to like, and I've like messed around with Game Pass, so I know what happens when I do it, and it's like I have a lot of options, but I don't play those options. Like I'm just like kind of sitting there, like yeah, I play like one game.
I feel like Game Pass is more meant for casuals, honestly. Like, because if you're a person that likes to play video games a lot, but you like to play your specific ones, if you get Game Pass, you may play like one or two specifically, but then when the subscription runs out, you don't really feel like you got your worth. But like casual players who may just like touch some games here and there, I feel like that's what it's made for.
Well, I like it to test out certain stuff because, like, Forza, for instance, some of these games exclusives. Every time Xbox drops a new exclusive, I can play it on Game Pass without having to pay $60 up front for it.
That's
cool. Too much, and like that's kind of the thing I use it for. And also, like, there may be some old games that I haven't bought that's on there. I find it cool, but I don't use it as much as like my whole system's not filled with that. But I think it's cool. I just like it because it seems like that's the only one that gets it, that kind of gets it right, because you can still buy all those games. Like if you wanted to, you can buy all those games on the storefront. You don't have to have Game Pass to buy those games. But on Nintendo and on the Switch, you have to pay $50 or $80 in the family plan in order to play N64 games. Just on your system. And Sega Genesis games, which are already a Sega Genesis collection with more games on it, on the Switch you can probably get for like $5 physical. It's just, and then it said Sony got this stupid thing, the subscription only. It's just really annoying that Microsoft's the only one doing it. And to be real with you, we would all say the same thing. Microsoft's exclusivity library is not near as strong as the PlayStation and Nintendo, and yet those two are doing dumbass decisions or making dumbass decisions.
Yeah,
I just don't really care for the Netflix style of like game things, like Game Pass and PlayStation Now and stuff. I don't care for them. I don't think really gaming works in that way. I mean, it's fine that they exist. I just don't think gaming was meant for that kind of service.
Yeah, I think for Game Pass it proves it because it proves that it works because Game Pass is really fucking good. I may not use Game Pass like personally for me, but Game Pass is fucking good.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it wasn't good. I don't think video games.
There is a scary future to that.
I think that's the way you have to do it.
Yeah,
like that's the best way.
There's a scary future to that though. That scares me.
It kind of exemplifies the reason why sometimes I don't prefer digital. Like I prefer physical, but I will get digital. I've kind of loosened up to it. But Game Pass really brings up the fact that you don't own these games. Once your subscription runs out, they're all gone, and that's what I don't.
And also, some games just go off.
Yeah, and they just go off the service too.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that unlike with that, like I said, unlike the movies, you can buy it. But the scary thing that scares me is like the future, because all these companies are trying to do that with the cloud. And if we get to the point, I'm fine with digital because digital is downloaded onto your console. And if you have the license, or you have your account, you're going to be able to. You set yourself at home, you're going to be able to play it offline and have fun with it. But if everything's in the cloud, you need online for that. And especially like, although our internet infrastructure has improved over years, it is nowhere near a level where everybody can, we can use that, especially on something like the Switch, where it's like the big thing is portability, and you put in these cloud games on there where you need to have Wi-Fi connection, and McDonald's is not about to freaking provide the Wi-Fi strength to play something like Control on the Switch or Resident Evil 7 on the Switch. But that's just the scary feature of it.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, you even notice it with stuff like the Steam Deck, where the Steam Deck has like cloud on most of its games. Not even every game has it, but if you're like offline, it'll like be all fucked with your cloud, and you may not have your save data. So it's really fucked.
I will say, yeah, all your saves, by the way, are tied to cloud for your backwards compatibility stuff.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucks. And my Sonic Unleashed save got corrupted. And I had to beat the game again.
Bro, my Sonic Generations save data has been corrupted like twice. That shit's cursed.
Want to talk about Sonic Lost World on the Wii U real quick?
Oh, yeah?
Where I 100%ed the game 3 times and all 3 saves got corrupted?
That's rough.
My Wii U is cursed, and every time I load the Cream the Rabbit trophy on Smash 4, it crashes my Wii U. Specifically Cream the Rabbit. Yes, specifically Cream the Rabbit. 100%. Every time. It'll crash.
Take a video of that. I want to see that shit.
Okay.
Prove that. That's wild.
It's funny as fuck. It happens every time.
I don't think I ever experienced that, though. I never really tried it. I'm sure I've looked at that trophy. That's weird.
My Wii U is cursed. Watch this be some major glitch, that no one's experienced before besides me, because no one thought to load up the Cream the Rabbit trophy. It's just this glitch that's been in the game for years.
I mean, I've had something weird like that. Sonic Unleashed on the 360, I have digitally. I want to get it physically because I want to own it, but I got it digitally back then. And what happens is that if I'm not online, the game just won't boot. And then, if I'm in the middle of the game and I get booted offline, it'll be you have 7 minutes before you get booted out of the game. I don't fucking own it.
Did you set your Steam to home?
I don't know. I don't know what I did, but it was back in the day. It's been like that since then. Adventure 2 does it too. If I don't,
I would check that.
If I click on Adventure 2 when I'm not online, it's the trial. But then I'm online and it becomes the full game on the 360. It's so fucking weird, and I don't understand. Those are the only games that do that.
You have to set it. You gotta set it to home, and then because that's what happened to me before. But once I set the home, it doesn't do that because you're supposed to have the license there even offline.
That's just so weird. I fucking hate it, but whatever. I mean, games are weird. It does its thing. Y'all think we're good for today? I think we hit about time.
We're almost at 2 hours, so yeah. We're good.
I think we're right there. All right, cool. Yeah. Good episode. We're realizing how fucking old we are.
You want to say something about it?
What?
You'll say something about it, Mitchell?
Happy's Pizza lost their mind. 5 Ractals, $4.99.
Yes.
All right. Thank y'all for watching. Appreciate it. Check
That's
out
a hit for the next episode. We're gonna talk about Happy's Pizza.
No, we are not. Check out the links in the description. We'll see you guys.
Hey, I ate it recently. So yeah, we can talk about that motherfucker.
Now I want pizza.
No idea.
Not a Happy Wings. Start with anything. Get some rib tips or
All right, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
$9.99.